Hey now, Tough Skin Soft Heart family. Welcome to another edition of Tough Skin Soft Heart. Hey now, Tough Skin Soft Heart family. I am so grateful that we are gathering. Hey now, Tough Skin Soft Heart family. Welcome back to another episode. And really just welcome back to our community table. Hey now, Tough Skin Soft Heart family. Welcome to another edition of the Tough Skin Soft Heart podcast. This podcast was curated with love and intentionality with you at the center. We understand that when you rest, the world gets your best. And we also understand that your worth is so much deeper than just an outflow of the work of your hands. And this podcast is about curating space for you to rest from doing, fixing, solving, being bridge over troubled water, being a firefighter and a fire preventer and a fire starter. Y'all see, if you're watching the podcast, I'm running out of fingers as I think about all of the mantles of leadership that you and influence that you occupy in your homes, in your marketplaces, and in community. And so this is the space where you get to show up and be nobody before you have to be somebody to everybody. This is the space where you get to turn inward, where you get to ask questions that are rooted in advancing your holistic wellness, spirit, soul, and body. And in this podcast, we specifically talk a lot about our emotional well-being. But while we may highlight that aspect of our identity, we understand that we are a part of a system that needs us to thrive, spirit, soul, body, financially, relationally, socially, in all of the ways, right? And so this is just 15 minutes of inspiration and strategy. Who knew that just that dedicated, consistent time can reap an abundant harvest in our lives? And so I just thank you for being with us as we are winding down this time together from January to May of just being together. We are winding down, but y'all know we don't break up. We just morph. Spring is here. We are springing into the Rockstar Woman Brunch Experience season. We are springing into some new things, which I'm going to talk about. But we are here in May because you've been rocking and rolling with us since January. And I want to especially thank you. Thank you for reaching out to our impact partners, the Grand Rapids Community Foundation and University of Michigan Health West. Thank you for rolling into their DMs and stepping into their social media to tell them thank you. Thank you for making an investment of quality to ensuring that this podcast will continue to reach, touch lives, and that we can amplify a message of well-being for hope dealers and difference makers and change agents. 12 countries strong. We have subscribers spanning 12 countries, and I'm just so thankful that this community continues to grow and continues to meet folks at their greatest point of need. So y'all, so much is brewing. I have so much that I want to share with you, but I actually brought one of my journals with me. You know, I was sharing with you all over Twitter. If we're connected over Twitter, I asked a question recently. I said, do y'all have a different journal for different goals in your life? And some of you said yes. You know, there are certain times where you have a milestone aspiration or a milestone ambition, and it needs its own space. And so that's me. I am in this season of elevation as I think about myself as a founder. And there are stages to this thing, right? I have mastered stage 1 founder life. And as I am evolving into the next stage of what's for me as a founder and a CEO, I specifically pulled out a new journal just to chronicle that journey, that experience. And I like writing love letters to myself sometimes. It makes sense since I am in the greeting card space. You know, we curate spaces, products, and experiences that nourish human souls. And it comes out of a real place, y'all. And so I wrote this to myself recently, and this is the impetus for today's conversation. I wrote, and y'all can see it right there. Don't read it all, y'all, because I don't want to share everything. But I want to share this part. I wrote, "Dearest Shan, the process of becoming anything isn't a click or even a leap sometimes. Sometimes it's a progressive morphing connected to shedding and releasing, learning and applying. Allow yourself to grow into it, to feel it out. Just like when you buy a pair of pants that are next level for Deuce, which is my son, you know that he is those next level pair of pants. That is the direction he is going in. You see him getting longer and taller, and he is, y'all. And you prepare up. You prepare for where he is headed, not for where he has been. And in the spirit of that, I'm just curious to see, as a family, how many of you feel yourself in some area of your life, in your leadership, being in a space of change or transition? Can y'all see I'm throwing up my foot and my leg? That is me. That limberness is for life addicts. Thank you. I got my leg all the way up there because that is your girl, y'all. I am in the midst of morphing, and it is beautifully scary. It is beautiful and scary all at the same time. And so what I know is that learning activates vision in me and in us. And applied learning activates growth. Don't miss that, y'all, because we can learn some things. And if we never take what we've learned, take those ahas, and then translate those ahas into lived behaviors and habits and attitudes and approaches and systems, and wherever you're planted, sometimes policies and practices, then we haven't really learned it, right? We don't want it to just be head knowledge. Head knowledge doesn't transform us. It's applying what we know up here in our heads to our actual lives, that's when we start to see change. And so one of the things, as I recognized even at the onset of 2022, that I was in a space of evolution and evolving and changing, I made the decision that I would intentionally invest greater time in learning, in positioning myself, not just with podcasts or books, audible books, tangible books, but even classes and coaching and conferences that would feed me so that I can go to the next level. And I recently went to one of the conferences that I set out to attend. And this particular conference is for founders and CEOs. And there are 3 things that I heard over the course of the 3 days I was at this particular conference that continue to resonate with me. The first, I had a wonderful opportunity to hear Kuda Biza, one of the founders of Nonbelievable Cookies, dynamic speaker, and he talked about 2 years of in obscurity. He pulled out a snapshot of his journey as a serial entrepreneur, but he talked about this one particular season of his life where he invested 2 years every day from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. investing toward a dream. And he talked about the fact that he had friends or family say, "Why are you doing this?" Or maybe you should do this a different way. And his response to them continues to reverberate within me. He said, "I will not renegotiate my goal." Whew, y'all, when he said it, the room, it was like it sucked the air out and put fire in the room. He said, "I will not renegotiate my goals." There was another speaker who said something, and I'm actually going to it in my journal, y'all, because remember I said this particular journal is specifically for next level. And this particular speaker said something that was dynamic. She said, "Sometimes success is all about who you are lucky enough to have in your universe." I said, "Well, girl, you better say that with your whole chest," right? Like, say it with your chest. That is true. Listen, sometimes it's not about acumen. It's not about degrees. It's not about any of that. It's just about who you are lucky enough to have a relationship with. And here's the third thing. The third thing was the final day, and the speaker said this. He said, "There comes a point," and because he was talking to founders and CEOs, he said it this way, but I believe this is applicable anywhere. He said, "There comes a point when the business outgrows your talent. And your could be your talent as the founder or CEO, your talent meaning existing talent that you have within the organization in the form of contractors or employees, board members, or the like. And it was a reminder that you must invest in your own business literacy and the literacy of your team. So you might be saying, all right, Shan, those were good, but how does that apply to the Tough Skin Soft Heart family? Well, many of you have already seen maybe on our social media, you got this direct mailer in your, at your home box, and we've been sharing all of this information. But look at point number 2, y'all. It's your time to soar. And what we've done specifically this month, or actually not this month, but for the summer months, last year in the evaluations from Rockstar Woman Brunch Experience, there were 2 resounding things. Out of all of the 550 difference makers that came, there were 2 core things that this community said you wanted more of. You said you want more Shannon style inspiration and strategy, and you wanted more opportunities to connect and cross-pollinate ideas with one another. And then the third thing was more gifts. So those were your top 3 things. And so we went back into the lab to think about that. And I see and hear the words of this conference and what we've designed. And that was specifically with our SOAR sessions. So what we wanted to do this year is if you register by the end of this month, you will get access to 3 months of SOAR sessions and gifts. If you register in June, 2 months. If you register in July, you'll get 1 month. So registering early is the key to the full package. And you all, I'm thankful for our impact partners because we have grown what we're providing by 40%, and yet we've kept the cost the same. And I'm really proud of that fact because that's just the presence of impact partners who have partnered with me in believing that this is what we needed to do to serve this community. But I wanted to lift this up because I know we've already talked about over the course of this series and this season of the podcast, we all need a build squad. It is impossible to get from ideation to implementation by yourself and not be burned out. Number 2, for some of us, what your aspiration, ambition, and wellness goal, what they are, is going to require you to build and advance your network. You're going to need to invest in relationship building with people that are not already within your network so that you can go to the next level. Like the second speaker said, there are times when success is all about who you've been lucky enough to have in your universe. And then the third thing is true, is that we must invest in not just our business literacy, but our literacy connected to any aspiration or ambition goal that we have. And that's, y'all, the spirit of these SOAR sessions. Each month, I have a different SOAR catalyst, specifically women that I admire. Falguni Desai is our first speaker. And I'm actually not calling them speakers. I've been calling them catalysts because speaker to me feels prescriptive. And what we know about soaring is that everybody's journey is their own, right? I can have an experience share where I can share from what I've learned so that you get the benefit of my wisdom without the pain, but you got to walk it out on your own. Like, walk it out. I'm hearing the song, walk it out, right? You got to walk it out on your own. And so every single month, each one of these catalysts are women that grew something either as an entrepreneur working within an existing system or as entrepreneurs working for themselves, or a hybrid of all of that, right? From nothing to something epic. And I believe that our circle matters. I heard a speaker today say you need to audit your circle. You all know I love it. I love how he said it best. If you look around if Nipsey Hussle said it best, if you look around your circle and you're not surrounded by people who inspire you, who help you to dream bigger, who are catalysts, then you don't have a circle, my friends. You have a cage. And so these sessions are so impactful. I am determined that we soar collectively. That lift is not just individual, but real lift is collective. And I am just imagining the fire that is going to emerge as we come together, hear briefly from the catalyst, but then, which will be about 20 minutes of our monthly 1-hour sessions. But that 40 minutes is going to be us in this experience share and deepening of relationships, this locking arms and lifting from a place of love to help one another accelerate. So my question as I end this podcast is, are you in? And if you are in, who do you know that needs to get in? Who do you know that keeps calling you, texting you, DMing you because they're struggling, because they're letting uncertainty hem them up in a corner? And if it's somebody on your team, it might be someone in your upline, it might be a sibling, it could even be a child. Get them in the room. Register today. Go to shannoncohen.com. Y'all, we are capping at 500 folks because I want us to go deep this year. And we're going to cap it. And once we're done, y'all, I will hug you and hold you through tears or even anger, but I can't open up more spots. So get in today. I promise you, together we're going to help transform one another's lives. It's our time to soar. Podcasts during the month of May are sponsored in part by University of Michigan Health West. Family, it has never been more important to take care of your health, nor more convenient. University of Michigan Health West offers extended appointment hours that work for real life, mornings, evenings, and even weekends. Virtual appointments are also available. So don't let minor conditions turn into major problems. Find a convenient appointment that works for you at uofmhealthwest.org.